The year was 1960, and some white people didn't treat black people as equal. In some parts of the US, black people were kept separate from whites and viewed as less. They couldn't sit with whites on a bus or drink from the same fountains. They said, why us? It wasn't fair. If there was a school with white kids, then black kids couldn't go there. White people had set up this separation, and it was called segregation. It affected many, truly, including a girl from New Orleans named Ruby. Ruby Bridges was 6 years old when she did something brave and bold. Ruby lived by William Frantz Elementary School. It was for white kids only. What would Ruby do? Now, the Supreme Court had already ruled that segregation was bad. It should be given the boot. The Supreme Court had tried to change it. They said all schools have to be integrated. That means kids of every single color were allowed to go to school with each other. But that wasn't the end of segregation. Some schools still didn't allow integration. See, William Frantz gave a hard test to black kids, and they couldn't attend if they didn't pass it. But Ruby passed it and gave the school no choice. The US government used its voice and said Ruby had the right to go. She was only 6 and she became a hero. She was the first black child to attend an all-white elementary school without a friend.
Oh Ruby, when will all this be over? When will everyone be treated the same? Oh, Ruby Bridges changed the course of history. I never knew a little girl could be so brave. Oh, Ruby, when will all this be over? When will everyone be treated the same? Oh, Ruby Bridges changed the course of history. I never knew a little girl could be so brave.
Ruby's first day, people were cruel. A mob of angry white people stood outside the school. They yelled mean things at Ruby Bridges. Most people would have given up, but Ruby didn't. The US president sent guards to keep her safe from the crowd that was filled with hate. She had a brave, confident look on her face as she entered the school that day. When she got to class, guess what she found? All the white parents had pulled their kids out. They didn't want their kids in class with Ruby just because she was black. She was nice, but they saw her as an enemy. So it was only Ruby and Mrs. Henry, her teacher, who was very kind. It was just the two of them for a long time. She taught Ruby every subject for months. Slowly white kids came back, not all at once. After going through the first grade, Ruby made it to the second grade and it was integrated. Her class that year had black and white, all because Ruby never gave up her rights. She had courage and determination to help overcome segregation. Today some are still not treated equal, and Ruby continues to fight for those people. All it takes is compassion for others. Learn to treat people like your sisters and brothers.
Oh Ruby, when will all this be over? When will everyone be treated the same? Oh, Ruby Bridges changed the course of history. I never knew a little girl could be so brave. Oh, Ruby, when will all this be over? When will everyone be treated the same? Oh, Ruby Bridges changed the course of history. I never knew a little girl could be so brave. As brave as Ruby, as brave as Ruby.